Thank you for being so patient. I did end up getting the Multistrada keys to work. That will be in a separate video that I send you. But just gonna start off here with the Tigers. So this is just the regular start screen. This is where you can make some quick adjustments in the mode that you're currently in. Right now it's in rain mode. This is the select button, this is the scroll button, and then this is the mode button. So for now, let's go ahead and hit the select button. That's gonna open up the menu where I can make some adjustments to the suspension. If I hit select, it will go ahead and make that difference happen. Let's say I wanted to adjust some of the different modes that I have. I can click and hold select, and now I'm in road mode. And then from here, click and hold select, it'll open up my riding modes. Click select, and now I can change the different modes here on the bike, or the different settings for each mode, I should say. Now, if I hit the mode button again, this will allow me to scroll through the different modes. And then basically, let's say I wanted to land on off-road mode, I would just give it a second. Once it says complete, we're good. At that point, it'll take me back to my start screen where I can see now I'm in off-road mode. And still so, if I hit select, I can go ahead and make an adjustment right there. This is also where you can raise and lower the windscreen using the motor. Pretty cool. So this bike does have some adjustabilities on the maps, ABS, traction control, and TSAS is the suspension. So that's kind of where you also can make an adjustment. So basically there's several ways to adjust the suspension itself, and there's only one way really to adjust the maps and ABS, or I should say two, because you can also open up the bike setup and riding modes. So from what I gained from this technology, honestly, it's going to be really useful for you to view the Multistrada right now. I love this tech, it's awesome. It's just as important how they lay out the technology. So let's go ahead and walk over to the Multistrada and see what the difference really is. Great looking bike, of course. Multistrada, swing a leg over, twist the on button. There we go. So basically from here, if I wanted to switch over to a different mode, I would just click and hold this button here, and that'll open up this. Now, something that's really cool about this bike that I like better than the Triumph is you can really feel the difference in the preload and the suspension. So if I go over to urban mode, probably won't be able to hear it, but the preload is currently being adjusted in the bike. It's a little whirring sound. So it sounds really cool. You can tell that it's working. Now, if I want to make an adjustment here on the suspension, on the load mode, I should say, click and hold down. And now I have the opportunity to add rider plus baggage, rider plus passenger, rider, passenger, and baggage. This is going to give me a good chance to show you how good this actually works. It's kind of hard to see it right now, but if I move down from rider, passenger, and baggage down to just rider, you're going to see this bike sync. It's really hard to see, but if you're sitting on the bike, you can actively feel it happening. So you can definitely tell that this bike knows what it's doing. Now, if you scroll here using the scroll buttons to menu, and you click the same enter button, that will open up riding modes. From riding modes, you can adjust the different modes and their engine, mapping, traction control, ABS, wheelie control, your quick shifter, suspension, and load mode. So basically on suspension, you can do front, rear, you can make it harder, softer, and it kind of gives you a good gauge to understand how it's affecting the actual performance of the bike. Is it more towards performance? Is it more towards comfort, etc.? So I'm not going to save this one to memory, so I'll just back out. But you can do that for the front and the rear. Change the load mode as well. So now when you switch over to enduro, whatever mode that you leave it in for load, it'll go right over to. So this is useful if you do a lot of two-up, and you know that in enduro you're never going to have the passenger. So you set enduro as a single person, and let's say touring as your two-up plus backs. And as soon as you get into touring mode, it will actively change the suspension over to touring, passenger, and plus bags. You can also do urban, just you yourself, the suspension would be set up for that kind of riding. So basically, this just feels a lot easier to kind of understand. You know, it took me probably 5 minutes of just using the system for me to understand it. The Triumph, on the other hand, I needed to look up a video for that one. So I'm not a genius, but I can definitely say that the Multistrada feels easier to use. I'm sure with some practice, the Triumph can also become intuitive, but as they sit right now, it feels like the Multistrada is just a little bit easier. So I'm gonna go ahead and upload this to YouTube and send you the link, but thank you very much for waiting, man.